Dude, speaking of that was a freaking monster you killed up there.
Yeah, I saw it.
I know it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got so lucky on that.
Show us the rack.
All right. I got to sit back a little bit. I don't think I'll fit it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, it won't fit in frame, guys.
Click this thing into wide mode here.
Oh my god!
Holy moly!
I mean, look at the base. Like you can see on the.
Holy
can't touch
cow,
my fingers
dude!
are on there, and that
Wow.
is. But
It does
Yeah.
look like just oddly like it's super symmetrical in proportion to like those large bases. So like it probably doesn't do it justice just because like everything's massive.
Well, he's got this super deep fork on his left there, but then he's got that
Tighter
that
one.
long.
got a little
Yeah.
drop kind of off the side there, but yeah, I mean, you see your fingers here. I mean, I can't touch them right there,
man.
and that's 7 inches there.
How long are
Same
those
on that
twos?
side. What's that?
How long are the twos?
I think they were like 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like 12 on
Yep.
the 4 on that side, but it's just way. And I don't know if you can even tell on pictures like this. It's just when you hold it in your hand, you're like, wow. I mean, just the mass of it. And,
That's crazy, man. Yeah, and 29-inch beams on a Muley.
mm-hmm. That's what you don't ever see,
Super cool, man.
But yeah, back there, and it's just like, it's huge.
Yeah,
I mean, I've shot a lot of big stuff in my life. When I got on this, I was like, that for a typical, that thing is a monster.
I bet. I mean, his skull plate looks huge, so I guarantee like that body and that head just like he looked big, but just not huge.
Right, because I just look at it, it's like what is the world record typical mule deer? It's probably 220 something, I think.
Yeah, I would say
something like that.
Yeah.
But so I just look at that and it's like, well, what if this had a matching 4 over here? It would be 220 something, and just, after deductions, it could be could
high
be close to
2
220. Yeah, and it's like that could be almost in the top.
Yeah, top 5, 10. I don't know.
Like it could be dang close to. As big as they get.
Yeah, with no eye guards.
Nice. Yeah, he's talking a 212 with one of these. This one was an inch.
Yeah.
None of these are.
Yeah. So I mean, jeez.
He's awesome, man. Very cool.
Yep.
That velvet
so
does
off
look
to a good
awesome,
start.
man. Yeah, that's freaking great.
Even though I got lucky and it fell into my lap.
Hey, take it.
We'll take it.
And it screwed up. I didn't deserve it. I screwed it up, but it still worked.
Even
We all deserve some grace.
Even
every
Lee
once in a while.
Lakosky needs a little luck every once in a while. That's it.
Right. Right. Yeah, I shouldn't. I mean, I probably would have found him again and got him anyway. Because same thing with out there. I just spend as much time as I need to.
Yeah.
Because it worked out good because it's just a ranch there, and they used to lease that ranch out to an outfitter, but the ranch owned 2 tags, and then they just decided it's just too much maybe liability or whatever having an outfitter bringing people on every week and stuff. Said, well, we got 2 tags, we'll just have one of our ranchers get a guide's license and we'll do it ourselves where we can kind of keep more control over it and just not have people all over the place and stuff. And so we just do it that way. So it's really whenever we want to go, it's not, hey, you got 5 days or you got whatever. It's more, hey, we'll just go when we want to. If we don't kill one this time, I'll come back and
that's
whatever.
awesome.
So just kind of, so I would would have just stayed until I would have found him again.
Yeah.
I can see what you're saying, Lee, about that black skin. Like, especially from here, I can see it on his left 3 there.
Yeah, you see how dark it is there?
Yeah.
And it was just like the skin was, like underneath was just white. I mean, it was just really pretty. And then when I started, like there's a spot here like that. It was just
I
from
see it.
It was just perfect. It was all just beautiful. And this was like really white colored underneath there, like white. But I think once I put it on and let it dry out some more.
Yeah. Wonder if after some time it'll
probably
snap back.
And I'm sure they can fluff that velvet and stuff. So.
Yeah, I have been with a toothbrush, just kind of fluffing it up. And
just every night, night before you go to bed.
What are you doing? You're like,
hey, get off the pillow. I gotta fluff this for a second.
Yeah, and that little drop tine off there.
That's super cool.
Only non-typical is that little drop tine off there.
Well, it's cool how he's kind of got that same thing going on his 4 on his left side there.
Yeah, a little squirrely.
He's just got little squirrely guys. I think I'm looking at it. The left side is what you're holding it with there, right?
Yeah, that has that little.
Yeah,
that's
right there.
that little 4 that it's like when I saw in that first picture, I was like, well, it's 4 small on that one side, but I thought he still like could be a high 80s type deer. But he just had a big frame. He was just big body, but you could see it was a big mature deer, and I said he had good mass, but I didn't think it was like a 7-inch base. I was thinking 6 would be big, and if you had 5s and maybe a 4 in the lap, but this was 6. It was like 7, 6 something, 5.5, 6 something.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd shoot that probably.
Yep, I do. I do.
I mean, I should have never. It was just the grace of God that I killed that thing, because it's easy. Okay, I spot him. I said, I don't know what buck it is, but it was like from a mile away through the spotting scope. I could just see a big velvet frame sitting there. Well, actually, we saw a different, like a smaller one. I could see that one just glowed in the sun. It was just like had his rack right up in the sun. And then so I put my spotting scope on, and I could see another bigger rack below it. And I was like, I don't know. I said, that buck is not real big, but I think there's a big one laying below it. So that was like a mile away. So we moved up to, I don't know, maybe 1,000 yards from it or something, or 800 yards. Look, but now he had come up and laid next to the other one. So you see this big glowing yellow rack, And I was like, I don't know. It's still too far to tell with the heat waves and stuff. I was like, It's not. And I told Tiffany, I said, I'm just going to go on stock. I'll make my decision when I get there. It looks big and heavy, like a big enough frame, but I don't know which one it is or anything, but I'll just stock up there and I'll make a decision when I get there.
Mm-hmm.
So we get up there, I peek over the edge, and I see that thing, and I was like, oh, I see that little 4. I was like, it's him. It's what I've been looking for. And where he had been, that's just, you think you see them all, but man, it's just like here, elk go into this little ditch and you cannot see them. I mean, they got like in the little choke cherry stuff where it's just thick, gnarly stuff, and they lay down in there, and you can't, unless they stand up, you are not seeing them. And so this was like a creek drainage, probably over 1,000 years. It's just dug, really deep, so it has like steep banks, and it's just full of like that oak brush or whatever on those banks, and they were laying in that bank. So it was a perfect spot for them. I peek over the top, and they're like I don't know, 80 yards. I just crawled up a little further, like to 40, 45 yards. I'm like, okay, all I got to do is stand up. It's 45 yards. It's done deal. So, and they're down below me too, so I'm shooting down. And so the other one gets up first. So I come to full draw, and then they both stand up, but he's in front of him, the other one. And then the little one starts walking away, and he just turns and follows. So I'm just having like my pin right on the middle of his back. I'm like, what do I do? I mean, if it was if it was you two, anybody, if it wasn't filming, you just, okay, put it in the center of his back and shoot right
just
through
let it rip.
Because it's not like he was well below me, so not any different than in a tree stand and having a deer right below you.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at his back, but he's way down low and they're coming up. And so I was already at full draw for a while when they're standing there at, 45 yards. Now they're walking away. And they kept going and going. I'm like, oh, what do I do? If it wasn't on camera, if it wasn't something for TV and stuff, you'd have to listen to everybody. Oh, how can you shoot him in the back? And why didn't you stop him? All those things are going through your head, which you shouldn't really even care, but I do. And so just like, just about, should I stop him? But I was like, I don't know. He's probably like at 60 yards now. So whatever. And rather than us thinking all these things to your head, what do you do? What do you do? He stops, he turns his head and looks back at us. Say, okay, well now, and it's not hardly any, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's kind of opening his chest up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's just put it behind his shoulder here instead of down the back, and hopefully it'll come out in his opposite armpit.
Yep.
But looking back at it, I don't think that he even turned his body hardly at all.
It wasn't really quartering away.
All neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was thinking it was maybe 60, and so I just aimed high, and I think that it wasn't. I don't think it was that far because they were just down below and they were kind of walking up.
Yeah,
up
yeah.
But anyway, I shot it like, and whap, and they started running. But right away, I was like, I thought it went like behind the shoulder here, maybe just came out, in the front, like he just slid it under his leg.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, you just lay on my back, and I was just like, how did you blow that at 45 yards? You have this thing sitting there, and it's just like what we were talking about. I'm just like, how do you blow that? I mean, that should be dead every time. I was like, why did I even care about what people would think or anything like that. You know, put it straight through the back. If
right
you
through the
spine, it kept
straps.
come right out of his brisket. It'd be.
Yep.
Is that literally what went through your mind in that moment, Lee? Was like people
Oh,
are gonna
100%.
judge this shot if I take it?
Yeah, because they always do.
Because they
I mean,
will.
Even if you, they will.
Sure.
I mean, and I shouldn't care because I don't look at it anyway.
Sure.
But I still, stuff for TV and stuff like for Outdoor Channel and stuff. They don't, they have things you don't want them to shoot stuff bedded and all that kind of stuff. But I just like, because it wasn't like he was walking away like on flat ground.
Mm-hmm.
It was just way below, looking right at his back, so it wasn't any different than shooting one like down,
right out of the tree
whitetail
stand.
straight down. After that's what I was thinking. I was like, why did I care? Why didn't I just put it right in the middle of his back? I mean, he was only at 40 something yards. You would have it would have come right out of his chest. It would have been right through his lungs and heart, and everything would have been dead in 2 seconds. And I was just like kicking myself. I was like, what in the heck am I doing? Just like, why would I make that mistake? And so you watch them running. Both of them go running. They're like 1,000 yards up there. And then they go like through a little dip, and there's like 8 bucks in there that we didn't see, and they all got up, so they kind of ran up on this hillside, and they all stopped up there, and so they're all standing up there, and then he just laid down, and he seemed like he's kind of breathing hard, and I was like, well, man, maybe I had better than I thought, but then Jory, my buddy up there, who's like our guide, he had been watching from farther back. He's like, no, I think he hit it in the neck. And I was like, how did he hit it in the neck? I said, I thought it was right behind the shoulder. And he's like, oh, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems to me like it went right by his neck. Huh. And in hindsight, that's what it did. I was just thinking it was maybe like 60. I was aiming there, but it was he probably wasn't that much farther because he was walking uphill, just looking right at his back.
Sure.
He only went maybe 5 yards total. He probably walked, 10 or 15 yards, but they were mostly going up.
Yeah, up the hill.
Mm-hmm. And so he's just sitting there, but then all the other ones walked away, and they walked over the edge, like back into that same river ditch, but just, up a quarter mile or whatever. And I said, okay, well, here it goes. If he gets up and goes with them, then it's probably nothing. And sure enough, he gets up and starts walking with them. I was like, God dang it, and they go over the edge. But James, he had the big lens on, the 600 millimeter lens. He goes, Lee, I think you got him. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, there's blood pouring off of his brisket and stuff.
Wow.
And I was like,
wow.
And I was like, really? So then I look at, because Jory had come up and he'd gotten his phone on a spotting scope when we were sitting there watching him up there. And he's like, oh, yeah, look at it. It's just like a steady stream coming out.
Right in the jugular.
It's good.
Well, it couldn't have been, because if you hit him in the jugular, I mean, I think he
would have been dead already.
10 seconds, or 2 seconds. He wouldn't have even made it up the hill.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to think. I was like, well, they get, you hit a neck, you get any meat hit, and it's like, you'll get a lot of blood right away. But I said, I don't think like that.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not sure what the heck happened. So anyway, we're like, well, let's just go get the arrow. And the arrow was kind of like you expected. If it went like through here or anything, it had like, some greasy fat and some blood on it. But right away, there was blood right there. And it had been, if we walked like 20 yards out, and it was quite a bit of blood, like kind of, not necessarily spraying, but drops of it all over. Huh. So we just kind of didn't follow the blood anymore and say, well, we saw right where they went over.
Yep.
Let's just go and look. So I sneak up there and I look over the edge. And I can see all those other bucks. There's like in that creek bank, this like series of ridges in there. And I can see them right on the spine of one of the ridges going down. I can see all 8 of them. I looked at all of them over. I said, I see all the other ones, but I don't see him. So I was like, all right, so there's a hill behind him where they were standing. So I walked up on the hill, and we looked down, and I said, oh, there he is. Okay, he's just one closer. All those 8 are here. He's one closer to us. He's in the pocket, not on a spine. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna climb up I'm gonna sneak up to the edge, and when I come over the top, I'm just gonna draw and come over the top because he's like at 10 yards. And I was like, I'm just gonna treat it like he's not hit, like I don't, like he's Don't treat it like I think he's wounded or injured or anything. Just treat it like it's whatever. It's going to be really close. I'm going to draw and I'm just going to stand super close and shoot right there. So I sneak up there, and I didn't draw because I thought I was going to look at so you could see his horns first. I look at it, I don't see his horns there. I look at it, I was like, I don't see anything. But I look out, and those other 8 are just down feeding, and they're all looking back at me. But they're not looking at me. They're looking like down the creek. But they're just all up feeding. And then I heard this like, bah! And I was like, what the heck was that? I look over the edge, and there he is. He had rolled down the hill, and he's down there just dying. He's like, ah, like one more time, and it was done.
Yeah.
And so we walked over there, and he was dead, and it had hit his neck, like you're saying. And it, like, if you hit the jugular vein and just cut it, severed it, it would just,
he was dead.
He would have made it 10,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have made it 100 yards. But what I'm guessing is that maybe, and that's what I said, that was a rage did that one for me.
Yeah.
Because
Yep. That's
it must
why.
have just been turned enough that it maybe just cut enough, like a 16th of an inch of that jugular or something like that, but it was coming out like a fairly steady stream, but you just couldn't stop it. It wasn't going to ever stop, but it didn't cut the whole thing. That would be my guess.
That's the beauty of big expandables.
Yes, and that's why for deer especially, I never would use anything else. But I said, over and over, I said, well, this rage did this one for me because I sure screwed that up.
That's crazy,
myself.
man.
But I'm just like, oh my God, how could you get so lucky on something like that where you just feel like you jacked it up? I didn't deserve it, because it's like, God, it was stupid. And then get there and I walked up on that thing. I was like, oh my gosh.
Monster.
I had no idea it was that big. It was until you hold a rock in your hand, like everybody, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't think it was this big. And I said, I know it. I'm telling you, it's like 7 inches on the bases, like 6.5 on the next ones. And then when you go around the base of the two there, it's 5.5. And then like 6 and 3 out there. And then like 29-inch beams and like 19-inch twos. And so,
was it his body that just kind of dwarfed the rack a little bit? Like just put it in proportion?
I think so. Cause like we never saw him with any other deer out there. One video that he had him, he was just by himself.
Right.
And now 2 years ago, I shot one up there, and that body, like I do it in October, and they're kind of getting a rut, and they are monsters.
Yeah.
And I brought one that it was a big wide one with the drop time, but it was like the biggest body I'd ever seen on something. I remember just taking pictures, but even like pictures on that don't do it justice, And so I brought into my buddy Tim up there, has a meat market, and so I brought it in there and stuff. We went in and just BS with them in his shop or something, but just like one of his workers, hung it up and stuff. So I'm driving home, and he's like, Lee, he goes, dude, send me a picture of that deer. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, why? And he goes, I've been here for 20 years, and the heaviest deer I've ever had in here, just carcass. It's no head, horns, feet, guts, nothing. It's just, all the feet cut off, and you just bring it in there to process it. His was 220. This is 223 without anything. And I was like, but he said that's the biggest body deer he'd ever had in there. So they do have that huge body genetics. I'm assuming that this deer was probably, you don't notice it like that, because what you notice is their neck is this big around.
Yeah, exactly.
And so his neck was still skinny, but I'm assuming that his body is just monstrous compared to him. But I didn't really compare him, and you get to see him next to anything else. But even I show people the video footage, and they're like, yeah, I wouldn't have ever pictured that being 212, but you don't realize the mass on the thing.
Yeah.
And the length of the beams, really.
Do you guys get to weigh them before getting them to the meat market very often? Like, do you know what they are on the hoof or field dressed or anything like that?
No, we probably could. We could. Like at Tim at his meat market, we could bring them in there and weigh them, but I never really do.
I assume most of those are like, those big ones are like 320 plus.
Yeah. Sure that one would have been 320s or 330 or whatever.
That's a monster.
Oh yeah, it's like to me it looked like twice the size of a whitetail. Really.
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
They're just across the backs and necks and stuff. They're just so big.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one just totally surprised me, and I was just sitting there, and I was just like, I didn't even know what to say. I had no clue that this deer was like this big. Even when I stand there looking at it, you're like, oh yeah, it's a good one until you get your hands on it, and things like 15 pounds you're holding it, you're like, oh my god.
Jeez.
Everyone you bring it out to and show it to, and they're just like, oh my gosh, the picture do not do that one justice. And I was like, yeah, I know it. I didn't even put a score on there, because it's like, deer put it 212, and oh geez, what kind of tape will you use?
Yeah. That's funny. That's exactly what we all do too. We all look at this. We're like, no way, that's that. Nah, guy's an idiot.
Right. Yeah, use the inch side, not the centimeter side.
Yeah.
Of the tape.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Only
I would have never guessed. I thought he was in the 80, maybe high 80s. And even at the time when we had him on the ground, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like, "I probably 196 or something." But in my mind, I was like, "It's 200. There's no question.
Yeah. But
But I wasn't assuming 7 inches on the base.
That's
like 6
insane.
and 5, stuff like that. So when Jory did it first, he said 212 and something. And I was like, I still got to do it myself. I'm not going to tell anybody it was 212. And then I did it really tight myself. I gave it 212 and 1/8. And I was like, holy cow, I guess it is.
Take me